Welcome back to Keys to San Diego. I'm Marcus Feldman.
And I'm Quinn Gahn.
And today we are taking a deep dive into how buyer's agents actually get paid.
Whether you're buying your first home or your millionth investment property, this topic matters more than ever because knowing how your agent gets paid can help you make smarter, more strategic decisions when writing an offer. For years, it was standard for buyers to sign nothing and sellers to pay both agents commissions.
But ever since the lawsuit against the National Association of Realtors last year, that concept has completely changed. Now, a buyer's agent and a buyer have to have a legally binding contract before that buyer's agent is even allowed to show a buyer a home. Such an agreement between buyer and buyer's agent now actually also has to spell out the amount of the compensation the buyer's agent gets paid.
But before you worry about having to write a check to your buyer's agent, there are a few ways that this can play out.
Option one, just like the old days, you ask the seller to pay for the buyer's agent's compensation in the offer.
Option number two is you pay your agent directly. Now, this can sound intimidating, but think of it like this. If you're not asking the seller to pay your agent's compensation, you can actually make a lower offer and keep the seller's profit the same, making your offer more appealing. My last two clients actually won a multiple counteroffer situation using this exact strategy.
And option three is a combination of option one and option two. Let's just say the buyer's agreement calls for 3%, yet the seller is only willing to cover 2% of that compensation. In that case, yes, the buyer is on the hook to cover the difference between the 2% and the 3%.
Not all real estate services are created equal. If your agent spends months helping you shop, strategize, and negotiate, that agent is probably going to request a higher compensation than if you were to just show up at an open house ready to write an offer.
And just like any other professional service, custom work comes with custom pricing.
Each agent's fee will vary, so it's important as a consumer to ask that agent what they're bringing to the table to justify their fee. So how do we approach it as agents? Well, transparency is everything. We'll always go over how we work, what we charge, and what value we bring to the table.
And that is before we ask any buyer to sign any paperwork.
If your agent isn't doing that, that is a huge red flag that you might be working with the wrong person.
Our goal is actually very simple: to give you the tools, the guidance, and the edge to win in your next home purchase without being blindsided.
Still have questions about compensation? Drop them in the comments.
And if you're ready to start the home buying process, let's talk. We'll break it down in plain English and help you get the process started.
Like, subscribe, and stay tuned because next up, we're diving into 5 things your agent knows you probably don't, but definitely should.